Earlier this year, we saw a huge trend going around, all centered around the idea of de-influencing. And now many of us content creators, I don't like to use the word influencer, I'm gonna say content creator. People here on the interweb, obviously we talk about a lot of products, especially in the beauty space. It can be overwhelming, it can be a lot. The overconsumption is real, and sometimes it's nice to take a little step back and just talk about products we don't like. I made a couple of videos on TikTok. I did a video kind of chatting about it on YouTube, but it's been a minute since we've talked about de-influencing, and I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I've been getting a lot of videos served to me on TikTok and in the space, and listen, Black Friday's a lot, the holidays are a lot. It's just like constantly like buy this, gift this, shopping, and I've been feeling it heavily, especially this year, because I've really gotten into a happy, content, like very content place when it comes to my beauty, my skincare routines. I feel like we're simplifying everything. We're figuring out our style. We're figuring out the products that work for us. Like the skincare is on lock. The focus for me lately, and I know for a lot of you, has just been on simplifying everything in general. And so I just thought it would be fun to rediscuss this whole de-influencing idea and talk to you about some of the products that I'm no longer buying. And this one has a big if, a big but, a little asterisk on the side, because obviously there are times where buying new things are appropriate. I love to do a good review video. I am not beneath a new makeup review, okay? I do love to see what's new. Sometimes there can be new innovations, new ingredients, a replacement for something that you might have that's way better. But the reality is that doesn't happen very much, and a lot of the times, especially in the beauty space, the things that come out already exist, and we don't necessarily need to be replacing them in our makeup collection. But then there's those moments where your favorite product is discontinued, and then you're like, no, Tom Ford, what have you done? And brands are constantly changing over their products. Brands are going out of business. There's room for new businesses. There's room for new products. And so the products that you might hold dear and love and not want to replace sometimes might be taken away from you. And that's where you need to go and shop around and see what else is out there. So there's obviously room for newness at any time of day. It might be someone's first time purchasing their first beauty product ever, and they just want to see what's up with the products that are available to them in that moment. So there's always room for new, and that's why I just put this little star, because sometimes it can be a beautiful thing. So what I wanted to focus on instead were kind of those general product categories that I am no longer buying, because there's a vast number of them. There's a lot of things that I no longer want to buy and that I no longer want to spend my money on, waste my money on. I am over it. That's what we're talking about today. And then we can kind of just discuss a few product categories that I probably should just choose to do a no buy in. So that's what we're doing here today. Would love to hear your thoughts. Please let me know some of the products that you don't like. What are some things that you are not replacing in your makeup collection? Let's have a little chat in the comments down below. I'd be so curious to see if you guess some of the areas that I'm going to discuss. And without further ado, my friends, these are the products that I am no longer buying. Starting off strong with eyeshadow primers. Ooh. I know this is such a polarizing subject because there's so many like celebrity professional makeup artists who love eyeshadow primers, and there's so many people who don't use it and they just use their concealer. I'm just deciding it right now. I'm no longer buying eyeshadow primers. I am over it. There has been nothing that has been life-changing or making a noticeable difference for me when it comes to eyeshadow primers. As a matter of fact, some of the eyeshadow primers that I try and have tried have actually made it worse and have made my eye products crease even more, and I just don't see the need. I really don't. For me and how I live my life, how I'm wearing my makeup, I just don't need it to last on my face for 20 hours. There's no reason, and if I do, I can also just put like a self-setting concealer that I'm already putting on my face onto my eyelid and set it with powder. Sometimes people like to use primers with a little bit of a tint in it, and I'm like, well, then I'll just use my cream eyeshadow, or I'll continue using the eyeshadow palettes that I already have. It's just not a product I need in my life anymore. So eyeshadow primers, no. You know what, this is actually really, there's a lot of primer discussions here, but that's because we've turned a new leaf in our makeup world, isn't it? And speaking of which, the next product that I'm no longer buying are hydrating primers. I have used and loved many a hydrating primer in the past, so this might be a shocker to some of you, especially if you're looking at this being like, what the heck, I thought you loved this. I do. I also thought I loved it, but I think that in the last few weeks and months, I've realized that with the multitude of layers that I have been layering up on my face, it's just doing more harm than good. My skin is just way too sensitive. It's way too dry. I layer on way too many different things on my face for it to be doing anything. And the most effective primer is just dealing with your skincare first. So I'm just removing hydrating primers from my vocabulary, from my makeup lineup. I don't need them. And all you need is a really nice face cream that you like. And you can use it during the day. You can use it at night. And and you don't need a separate product for it. Where I see the benefit of primers is when you want something that's a little bit more mattifying, you want something pore filling, maybe you want to add a little bit of glow into your skin. Those are kind of separate little products, but specifically hydrating primers, why would I need this and my very expensive good hydrating face cream? I just don't need both, and I'm removing it from my makeup routine indefinitely. And on that same thought, I think I've kind of alluded to this a few times, but I very much treated my skincare in my bathroom separately to my makeup collection. So getting ready in the morning, I would do my skincare in the bathroom, wash my face, put my skincare on, and then I'd go to get ready at my makeup desk with my makeup bag, and I would put another layer of things on. And sometimes that included a second cream. And this has been a problem for me, especially when we're talking about layers and makeup pilling and just putting too much shit on your face. And that is the next thing that I'm no longer buying, and that is face creams for the sake of it looking good under makeup. There are so many face creams that I hoard and collect and keep in my makeup vanity because I like how they wear underneath my makeup, but I will layer that up either on top of my skincare or I will wear these creams instead of my skincare that I already have in my bathroom. And the problem is that I'm not consistent with my skincare routine for it to be effective on my face, and I just keep switching up all these different things. I'm throwing in all these different ingredients. There's a bunch of different fragrances, and I'm like, I just need to be consistent with my skincare. I do not need another cream. Please, I don't need it. I don't need any more creams. We don't need to buy any more creams. I have been sticking with the most basic, no fluff, easy face creams, and my skin has never been happier. And I haven't been layering up a million different things. I haven't been switching them out every day to be like, oh, I want to try this face cream. It's a face cream, it's hydrating, and you don't need anything else. Okay, the next product category that I'm no longer buying are face and cheek palettes. I know. Once upon a time in my makeup shopping life, I used to just get positively giddy when I would see the new blush palettes, the face palettes come out. I remember when the first Hourglass face palette came out, the first time I laid eyes on this beautiful succulent thing, there was this one and then the little trio. And I would have done anything to get my hands on this. I thought it was the most beautiful, perfect product on the planet. And to be honest, at the time it was. There was a time where this was everything to me. It was a way for me to try so many different powders from the brand that I maybe couldn't have afforded to try separately. It was a perfect way for me to travel with ease and have a bunch of different products in one. If you're a makeup artist, it can be so nice to have a bunch of different shades available to you. But the reality is, for my life, how I travel, the makeup that I'm doing now, and the products that I have tried, there's just no reason for me to have a face palette or a blush palette. Blush palettes and face palettes for me in my life right now no longer have a place. I don't need them. They're a waste of money, and I never use all of the shades in them. So that is not to say that they might not be beautiful, absolutely worthwhile products for you, but this is just for me. This is an entire category I just need to zip from my makeup collection. So I'm gonna this has to go in a giveaway. This is brand new and beautiful. I do not need to hoard this. I'm sorry, I'm actually just gonna pick that back up for a second because the next category that I wrote down, things that I'm no longer buying, are limited edition products and or products that have limited edition packaging. There are so many times like this, where I will buy a duplicate of a product that I already use and love if it has really cute limited edition packaging. Another example of that was the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. I already had a Film Star Bronze and Glow in my collection, but they came out with this beautiful blue bedazzled holiday version. I was like, oh, I simply must have that. This is so beautiful. It's another collector's piece. No, we will not be doing that. We do not need to do that. I'm not buying something for the sake of it being limited edition, specifically limited edition packaging, but also for the sake of reviewing and doing things. There are so many products that come out and they're only available for a handful of months. It's like limited edition on Sephora. You're literally on the webpage on Sephora and it says limited edition. Now, sometimes those limited edition products can come back as permanent products. Never forget the Charlotte Tilbury Lip and Cheek Glow Color of Passions, one of my favorite products of all time. That was a limited edition product and I cried and cried and cried when it went away and was so happy that they brought it back as a permanent item. So there can be times where, fingers crossed, if the product is amazing, you hope that they add it into their product category and permanent lineup. But for the most part, there's so many things where it's like, surprise, Merry Christmas, we have sparkly new gold packaging. And it's like, but is the product different? Is the shade different? Is there anything else different other than the packaging for collectors? No. Now, I have to be honest with you, this one's going to be one that bites me in the butt because I know there's going to be something that tickles my soul in the future, but I'm just going to say it anyway because I think that for most of you who have been following my channel for a long time, you know that this is how I really feel inside. But I did write eyeshadow palettes, but really I don't want or need any more in capital letters is what I wrote down in my notes. And it's so true. There's so many palettes, kind of in the similar vein of face palettes, but even worse. I absolutely buy and collect eyeshadow palettes. It must have been like a there's a word for it, like a scarcity complex. Like it's something that I never had when I was growing up, and then when I entered the world of eyeshadow palettes, like I was obsessed. Like the Urban Decay Naked palettes, the Lorac Pro palettes, like there was just so many eyeshadow palettes that there was a time where eyeshadow palettes were everything, and there weren't that many around. Like the good old days of beauty YouTube, like there weren't that many eyeshadow palettes in existence. And I feel like over the last few years, there's just an overabundance. Like you truly take your pick. There are 5 billion eyeshadows that are available to us on the planet. And it's so funny that it is a section in my makeup collection that I do hoard, because eyeshadow is something that I wear the least of. It's hardly a part of my everyday makeup routine. I really don't need it. And when I do like to bedazzle and glam up a little bit more, most of the time I'm reaching for an eyeliner and a sparkly eyeshadow topper anyway. So there's so few eyeshadow palettes that I use and reach for. And so many times when new palettes come out, they're not anything new or replacing anything that doesn't already exist. So I think the most recent one that really got me was this Patrick Ta one. And I bought it because I was like, oh, it's the perfect collection of mattes. It's so glorious. It's beautiful, but it is so expensive and I really don't use it. I'll use it for the sake of a YouTube video or sometimes for filming something, but really, like, I've got this old Tom Ford palette that they've now replaced twice. This doesn't even exist anymore, and then the one they replaced it with doesn't even exist anymore, and then I have my old little Inglot Trio little eyeshadow, and those are the palettes that I use the most. I've got my basic shades covered. For me personally and how I do my makeup, I really don't need anything more than that. I do think it's fun to play every once in a while and grab a fun color, like when we want to play with lilac or we want to do a blue eyeshadow, like that can be so fun, but it's no reason for me to just continually buy the same neutral eyeshadow palette over and over and over again. One section that I had thought about was brown eyeliners, like literally specifically brown eyeliners, because this is one of my most favorite used makeup products in my makeup collection, in my beauty routine. I love to do a brown liner on any given day. I love a brown liner. And what I have found recently when I go through my makeup collection and I do a little swatchy swatch of all my brown eyeliners lined up together, they're really just all the same. They're really all the same. I go for a cool toned brown eyeliner. I don't need any more brown eyeliners. We are done. We have many favorites. And again, in my notes, I wrote with an asterisk, I will only switch if my beloveds are discontinued. And I stand by that statement for any of these. Okay, the next product category that I'm no longer buying are lip exfoliators. And this was so funny because a lip exfoliator isn't something that I actively use in my skincare collection, but I thought about it the other day because I saw an ad for this beautiful lip exfoliator. It was in gorgeous gold packaging and I was like, oh, I really literally clicked add to cart. I was like, oh, that's so pretty. I can use that. How fun to add into my little skincare routine. And I was like, no, we do not need a lip exfoliator. I believe in exfoliators in your skincare routine. I think it's super important. You want to have some chemical exfoliants. You got to have some physical scrubs every now and again. Lip exfoliators. The most effective lip exfoliator that I have ever used is my face cloth. I just take a little face cloth, run it under water, and I rub it on my lips, and voila, my lips are exfoliated. We do not need them. Depending on who you ask and how many videos you've watched of me, you may or may not be surprised by this, but the next product category that I would like to no longer buy things in are tanning products. Oh my, I know. We know I love a good tan. I'm not saying I'm giving up fake tanning, okay? What I'm saying is that I can probably accurately state that at this point, over the last 10 years, I have spent, I'm certain it's thousands at this point, of trying different tanning products, trying different tanning formulas, whether it be a spray, a water, a lotion, a mousse, tanning drops to add into your lotion. I have tried every formula on the planet, all in the hopes of finding that one all-encompassing perfect formula that doesn't leave me with Cheeto Dorito hands, that doesn't get streaky, and that doesn't make me smell like a dying zombie in an apocalypse. And guess what? They all do. They all do. I reek the exact same with every single, no matter if it's natural, no matter what ingredients they claim to have in it, whatever it is, I always smell like a dirty butthole. When I put my tanning product on it, no matter what, I will get some kind of creasing, some kind of streaking, some kind of Dorito-ness. Like they're all the same. They're all the same to me no matter what formula it has come in. And don't get me wrong, I love a fake tan, but I also have a beautiful tanning routine that works for me. And every single time I try it, I'm like, oh, well, that was a waste of money and that is sad. And it is really no different than the one that I already use and love. I already have a shade that I love. This is easy. I know how to fiddle with it, and I know how to make it work on my body. And I hear you guys. You guys are actually so fabulous about always recommending the products that you use and love, and I so appreciate that. And when it comes to tanning products, I'm just not interested in it anymore. I have been let down. I have been let down and disappointed and have spent so much money, and I don't want to do it anymore. Tanning products, I've got my faves, and I'm good. I don't want to test anymore. You know, I am thrilled about this next one, actually. I will happily state till the end of time, I'm no longer interested in trying to make natural deodorants work for me. I don't care what research you've seen, what article you read, what has worked for you. They do not work for me. Stop trying to make natural deodorants happen. For me. I respect those of you who use natural deodorants, and if they work for you, that's a beautiful thing. They do not work for me. I have tried them all. And no, I do not have a month to test and wait and be smelling and reeking again like a dead zombie in an apocalypse. I cannot go about my daily life and live that way. I am so conscious of how I smell, and I like to smell clean, and I like to smell delicious, and I want someone to be filled with joy when they take a little whiff of my body odor, not gasping for air and trying to find their breath. This natural deodorant, for example, smells delicious. Santal and vetiver. Smells amazing. Guess what I smell like after I wear this for a couple of hours? Not amazing. And that is the case for all natural deodorants. I am no longer interested. Now, I never thought I'd be saying this one because this is a product that I have used my entire life, but I am no longer interested in using dry shampoo, and that's kind of a very recent one for me, and it's just this little eureka moment I had recently. And I think it's largely due to the fact that my natural hair color has been much more prominent these days. I've been bleaching my hair a lot less and kind of just stepping further and further away from that blonde life and the bleached life. And when you have darker hair, dry shampoo can be very difficult to begin with. Like, it's so easy when you have blonde hair, you don't see it, you spray it on, and you're like, wow, it's like I just got a toner. It's so much easier when your hair is bleached and blonde to be using dry shampoo. But what I notice is over the last few weeks and months, really, I have hardly used dry shampoo. Like, maybe I used it twice. And both of the times, I found myself actually getting a really itchy scalp and being really irritated by it. And that was something that I've never noticed before. And you just see so many whisperings of these like class action lawsuits and people suing all of these aerosol brands and so many dry shampoos being pulled off the shelves. And I was like, you know, maybe this has not been a great product for me to use after all. Maybe I just need to accept the fact that every once in a while I just need to wash my hair a little bit more. And if I do feel like I need to use dry shampoo, I can use other things. I can use my face powder. You can use the loose powder that you've already got. Like, there's so many different ways that you can do it. Sometimes you can even just take a blow dryer and blast your roots and it's okay. It kind of gives the same effect. Like, there's just other ways that I can achieve the same look, or just wash my hair. And yeah, that was a recent revelation that I had, and I was like, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna buy dry shampoo anymore. Now, the final category, the final product that I'm no longer interested in buying, and this is kind of a tough one. I feel like it's different because obviously doing what I do, I am very grateful to receive many things in the mail, and sometimes I don't know what's coming, and sometimes there can be a pleasant little surprise. And I also find that it's a very common gift in general. People love to gift like pamper, bath, body care, and that can be so beautiful. I'm simply saying this from the standpoint of me purchasing it. This is something that I will no longer buy, and that is expensive bath salts. And that's because of a few things, really. Oftentimes, if you buy like a really nice, fancy little bath salt, Epsom salt, bath soak, it comes with all these lovely little body oils, and the scent can be so beautiful, and like the whole experience of it is really amazing. But a lot of the times, they go bad really quickly. I've had a lot of these little bath soaks that I've purchased go bad very swiftly before I can even use up the product, and I'm like, what the heck? This has been in my bathroom for like a month. This is so sad. But then they also like really cake up and gunk your bathtub. Like, it's disgusting. The amount of times I have had to like full body scrub my bathtub because of all these like caked on oils and slimes and things like from these little multi-fragrance bath soaks. Like, it's just kind of a pain in the butt. And you know what I love? You know what I love to use all the time? Because I work out a lot, I have a lot of sore muscles, and I do have baths frequently. Just get a big old bucket of Epsom salts. And if I want to put a little bath oil in, that's fine. I just do a couple squirts of that, or I just use my body wash, and it's a beautiful thing. So even though I know that it can kind of be in a separate category, it is nice to have an extra experience and an extra pamper every now and again. Like, I don't need it. You don't need it. We got the Epsom salts and we have them in abundance and it's much cheaper, and it also doesn't make my bathtub look like the bottom of a pool at the end of winter. So that's that. My friends, those are all of the products. That is the end of my slander here. That is a nice little roundup and overview of the products that I'm no longer interested in buying, and I'm so curious to hear your thoughts. Are there any products that you agree with me? Any categories that you agree with me on? Are there any other products that you are no longer purchasing? Or did you disagree? Are you like, what are you talking about? I love my bath soak. I would love to hear from you. Please let me know in the comments down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want me to continue doing videos like this, please let me know what you want to be seeing from me. Thank you so much for being here and for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow for a new Landmas video. Bye!